As was mentioned, I graduated from McCombs School in 1969, but my real claim to fame was I got a PhD by working with Red McCombs. What he has brought to this city and what he has done for me personally is how I've got to be here to speak to you. He's been an inspiration, he's been a mentor, he's been there when I've needed him, and he's helped me solve problems that I needed to get solved. And I do appreciate, Red, what you've done for me and my family. We're very fortunate to be in San Antonio, very fortunate to be in Texas. Texas, we learned from the end of the 80s that we had to diversify. And that's exactly what we've done in San Antonio, exactly what we've done in Texas. In the real estate sector, and really, I want to talk about job creation and what we've done and why we're doing so well and what is happening. Red mentioned data centers. When I first started developing Westover Hills in 1983, we didn't even know what data centers were. I don't even know they had data centers. And the people who really understood where our future was going was one day I get a phone call from Southwestern Bell, and they invited me for lunch and had a box lunch. They did this multimedia presentation for you young people. That's called a slideshow, and they're talking to me about fiber optics, and they could have been talking Chinese to me. So at the end of it, the slideshow, I said, "Stop. What are you trying to sell me, and what is it going to cost?" And he said, "No, we will put the fiber optics into Westover Hills for free." And I said, "Okay, well, how much is lunch? Why are you buying me lunch? And if you're going to give this to me, what they need is some right-of-ways." And make a long story short, they put millions of dollars worth of fiber optics, and I didn't realize for 10 years what that was going to mean to me. But they realized before I did, because they're smarter than me, where the world was changing, where San Antonio was going. And two major industries that people have not really focused in on that's happening in San Antonio that goes back to real estate, because we got to put them somewhere and I figure out places to put them. Two major things that they saw coming. One, financial service centers. In San Antonio, obviously, we have USAA that's been here, founded here, Frost Bank that has been here, but Citicorp has a facility, 4,500 people. Wells Fargo has a facility here, 4,500 people. Frost Bank just built a financial service center in Westover Hills, 2,000 people. The American Funds and Capital Group has 2,000 people. Chase Credit Card Center has 2,000 people. Why are these companies coming to San Antonio? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, central time zone. Because if you're going to service the United States from the East Coast to the West Coast, there's no better place to be than in the central time zone. Second of all, we have a low cost of living. We have a very young population, which is very, very important, a very loyal population. So the opportunity to hire people is great in San Antonio. Something else we do, we are far enough away from the Gulf Coast that we don't have to worry about being knocked out by a hurricane. But we're far enough away from north to be worried about ice storms and tornadoes. But the most important part that these companies are all figuring out, the largest and fastest growing minority in the United States is a Hispanic minority. And if you want a bilingual workforce to man these call centers, these financial service centers, there's no better place than San Antonio. So they're coming here, they're looking at this area. We're a pro-growth city. We're very active in trying to recruit these companies. And that is having a lot of major impact on the job growth and the real estate growth of San Antonio. As Red said, when I went to the West, everybody thought it was crazy, and I don't want you to think I'm trying to talk you out of that theory. I am crazy. But what we realized, the growth to the West was, when you went north, you have four major obstacles. Number one, you have big, beautiful hills to the north. But big buildings, except for New Star, building big buildings on hills is very expensive. Number two, you drive out 10 or 281, you have solid rock. So putting sewer lines, water lines, electric lines underground in solid rock is a lot more expensive than putting it in dirt. Number three, you have the recharge zone, the environmentally sensitive area. Even though I'm a firm believer that no one has proven that developing over the recharge zone is going to stop development or hurt the water supply, the environmentalists will never stop. So I decided not to fight the environmentalists. And fourth, wherever there's some place that somebody does not want you to develop, they always find endangered species. So we got bugs and birds out there, and so that's the reason why I went west. And what people don't realize, that 45% of the homes in San Antonio for the past 10 years and projected for the next 10 years is going to be between Bandera Road and Highway 90 outside 1604. 45% of the homes. And they're affordable homes where people can live, and that helps bring these financial service centers and other jobs to San Antonio because of the cost of living, and it also is, with 151, brings back it to the center city where you have the bilingual workforce. Going back to the data centers is we were picked for a lot of the same reasons as a financial service centers. Again, they want to be away from the Gulf Coast, because what a data center is, it's a bunker, okay? And they're built to withstand, there are 4 different grades of data centers. Lowe's data center was built to withstand a direct hit with a tornado. Microsoft has 2 data centers in Westover Hills. One of them, the first one, was a $1 billion data center. Again, a bunker with servers in there, the cloud. Then major companies have data centers. You have Christus Health has a data center, Frost Bank has a data center, Lowe's has a data center, Cyrus One, which rents space in a data center out there, have it. But the big reason we're getting those, and now the NSA, National Security Agency, is out there. And what it is, it's a big data center, okay? But the reason why, the main reason why, is our cost of electricity. Of the major cities in the United States, San Antonio has one of the lowest, if not the lowest of the major cities, cost of electricity, CPS Energy. We own it. And that is their biggest cost, is electricity, because they have to have all the electricity to run the servers, and then they have to have all this electricity to cool them off. And it's a great deal for these companies. It's a great deal for San Antonio, because if you realize 14% of their electric bill, as your electric bill, goes to the city. The city gets more revenue from CPS Energy than they get from property taxes. And that is also very attractive to the companies that come here. And then a lot of the companies like Wells Fargo and the Capital Group, they have data centers in there, even though they have 2,000 employees. Frost Bank has 2,000 employees. They have their data center there. So, this is a great industry. It's great for people coming into San Antonio. San Antonio grows at twice the national average and will continue to grow. And we're very, very attractive to companies. As Red taught me, if you want to make money, sell something to somebody. And what we wanted to do is bring jobs here to make this city a thriving. Thank you very much.